Hello everyone, welcome to Homework Help. If you find the videos useful, please subscribe to the channel. So in this video, we'll solve these two problems based on the concepts of vectors in R cube. So as per the first problem, point P and Q represent the same point in R cube. In part A, we have to find the values of A and C. So let's start with part A. Now these 2 points P and Q can represent the same point if their x, y and z coordinates are the same. So this is a very important concept you need to understand and memorize. Now the x coordinates of point P and Q are 2 and 2. So they are just numbers. Now the y coordinates of P and Q are a minus c for P and 6 for Q. Now since they represent the same point, that means our first equation can be a minus c equals 6. And also their z coordinates have to be same. So that means our second equation is a equals 11. So this is the value of a. Now we can find the value of c by subbing in a as 11 in the first equation. And now we can solve for c by isolating c on the left side. So we should subtract 11 from both sides. So 11's on the left side get cancelled out. And 6 minus 11 is equal to negative 5. And now we can divide both sides by negative 1. So c becomes positive. And negative 5 over negative 1 is 5. So this should be the final answer for value of c. So we are done with part A. Now we can analyze part B. Does magnitude of vector OP equal magnitude of vector OQ? Explain. See, OP represents a position vector for point P. So point O is the origin. And similarly, OQ is a position vector for point Q. So we can write that. Now, magnitude of OP represents the distance from point O to point P. Similarly, magnitude of vector OQ represents the length of the vector or the distance from point O to point Q. Since P and Q are the same point, that means the distance from point O, the origin, to P and Q should be the same. So we can explain that. So therefore, so this is how you can present your answer for part B. Now we can analyze the second problem. So if vector OP is equal to negative 2, 3, 6 and B is equal to 4, comma, negative 2, comma, 8, determine the coordinates of point A such that vector OP is equal to vector AB. So here we are given that vector OP is equal to vector AB. Now we are given the vector OP, but we are only given the point B. We are not given the vector AB and we have to find point A. So the first step is to break up vector AB into the position vectors for points A and B. So we can do that by breaking up vector AB as OB, which is the position vector for point B, minus the position vector for point A. So there's something you have to keep in mind. You always start with the position vector of the first letter, the second letter in the vector minus the position vector of the first letter in the vector. So like this. Now we can sub in the given information. So vector OP is given as now the position vector is a vector that identifies the location of a point. So the position vector for B is equal to the coordinates of the given point B. So the position vector OB is equal to, so this is a very important concept you need to understand and memorize. Now let's assume point A is X, Y, comma, Z. So the position vector for A will be equal to X, comma, Y, comma, Z. So this is a very important concept you need to understand and memorize. So now we have to solve this vector equation. So first we can subtract the vectors on the right side. So to subtract vectors, we have to subtract their x, y, and z components. So for x components, we should do 4 minus x, then negative 2 minus y, and then 8 minus z. Now we have to find the value of x, y, and z, and for that we'll have to write an equation. So two vectors are equal to each other if their x components are equal to each other, their y components are equal to each other, and their z components are equal to each other. So our first equation is, so this is the equation we get from making the x components equal to each other. And we can write an equation for y components and for z components. Now we can solve for x, y, and z. So for the x equation, we can subtract 4 from both sides to isolate x. The 4's on the right side get cancelled out. The negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. And now we can divide both sides by negative 1. So we get x equals 6. Now we can solve the y equation. So we can add 2 on both sides. So 3 plus 2 is 5. And now we can divide both sides by -1. So y equals -5. Now we can solve for z. So we can subtract 8 from both sides. So 6 minus 8 is -2. And we can divide both sides by -1. So we get z equals 2. That means point A is, so this should be the final answer for this problem. So these are the steps you have to keep in mind to solve a problem like this one. So I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to Homework Help. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.